Okay, just checking if I'm live here. Just popped in a few minutes early, so just hang tight, guys. If you are waiting, we should be good. So hold on just a sec, all right? All right, looks like I'm sorting out a couple technical difficulties. So if you are around, just hang tight and we will get this sorted out. All right, looks like I'm sorting out a couple technical difficulties. So if you are around, just all right, looks like we got a screen together now, so good stuff. It is now about time, so I'm just going to wait for a few people to get in, and then we will get started. All right, looks like we got a screen together now. I just got to make sure the sound is off over here. Good. All right. So if you have joined us, make sure to let me know if you can hear me by going into the chat and just saying yes or hey or whatever it is. Let me see who is here. And then once again, I will get started and go through this, trying to make marketing yourself and your music a lot less complicated. It is a challenge to do, so I'm going to try to walk through and simplify it. If any of you guys have checked out any of my tutorials or gone through my EP in 30 Days course, you know that I like to try to break things down to simple steps so that you can actually do complex things by taking simple steps one at a time. So that's what I'm going to try to help you do here with marketing your music. So once again, if you can hear me, let me know in the chat, and then we will get started. All right, so I'm going to hang tight here for another few minutes while just waiting for people to join. So I'm going to turn off the mic real quick, and I'll be back shortly. Once again, if you are in the group, if you are on the page, go ahead and say hi. Let me know that you can hear me. Talk to you soon. All right. Hey, Gregory. Hey, Jason. Good to have you guys here. As more of you guys fill in, just go ahead and pop in, say hello, let me know you can hear me. And of course, if you have any questions, I will be monitoring those as well. But for now, let's go ahead and get started. This is completely unrehearsed, so I'm just going to go with it and try to get as much information out to you guys as possible. So here we are. This is our Market Your Music and Create a Fan Base and Sell Your Songs webinar here. And what you will learn today is going to be the best strategies for building yourself a fan base. And a lot of people have real issues. They create songs and then they're pretty much lost from there. I will tell you that what you don't want to do once you finish songs, if you plan on making a career and building a fan base, is this. The check my SoundCloud is not the path to success. So try to avoid this as much as possible. It's cool to have a SoundCloud, but you don't want to be spamming people with a bunch of free music when they can get it anywhere, any time of day, 24/7. They probably get a ton of requests. So let's not do that. Next thing is going to be how to monetize that fan base. So the first thing you want to do is get people interested in what you're doing. Next thing you want to do is learn how to get those people to be into you enough to want to support you. And then I'm going to show you what tools that you're going to need to kind of get yourself started. All right. And there's a number of tools that you're gonna need. So make sure to clear distractions, get off Facebook, and you might want to take some notes. So if you got a pen and paper, you might want to write a few things down. I'll try to have this available as a replay, but you never know exactly how it's going to go. So write things down while we are live. And the last thing is I'm going to try to teach you how to do this with little to no technical skills. I'm assuming that most of you guys are not marketing geniuses or masters. You guys just want to make your music, and you want that music to sell, make you a little bit of money, right? For some people, if you do this correctly, this could actually make you a living. For others, this could just make you some extra income. And I'll tell you, it feels really nice to make your first dollar from something that you created, as opposed to making all your money from things that you didn't create. It's a huge difference. So even if you don't have like this big hit or don't have a huge fan base, if you have one new person that wants to buy something that you created, that's a very, very cool feeling. So I hope I can at least get you guys there. So many of you guys know who I am, but if you don't, my name is Jason Ward. As an artist, I go under the name Jason Timothy, which is my middle name. And I run this site here, musicsoftwaretraining.com. So this is where I create free and paid courses, memberships, and master classes on Ableton Live and music production. I also wrote a best-selling book. It's on Amazon right now, and you can find it simply by searching music production. So yeah, this book has gotten some really great reviews, as you can see here. I've never gotten anything less than a 5 or 4-star review. So knock on wood, I hope that continues. But it's been a really great experience for me writing this book and getting the responses. Also, I figure if you're going to teach music, you should also be making music. And I have a number of releases that have done quite well. As you can see here, I also added this. But I had a #1 release actually last April. So, I'm currently still releasing songs and still doing quite well with that. So if you guys are interested in what I'm doing as an artist, you can find me as Jason Timothy, and this is all on beatport.com. So it's kind of like the iTunes for electronic music. All right, so let's get into some of your goals, right? So once again, you've created songs, and it only makes sense that you're going to try to get this to a fan base, and sell this, all right? So here we go, building your fan base. That's goal #1. I highly recommend, this is actually from a free blog that you can check out called 1,000 True Fans. And basically what it says is that you don't need to try to build a fan base the way that most major labels do, where they're putting millions of dollars out to get a big name out for you. Instead, all you need to do is try to get 1,000 true fans that will support you when you release music. And if you can do that, you can basically make a living off of 1,000 true fans. These are a true fan is someone that will drive out of the way to come to your shows. They'll buy your releases, but they also want the t-shirt and the poster and the VIP treatment and all that sort of stuff. So right here, you could actually just search 1,000 True Fans and bookmark this. This is a really great article, and it will really give you an idea of a new way to think about being a DIY artist. You don't need to be famous in order to make a living. And there you go. You want enough things to offer in order to make a living. So that doesn't just include digital sales or whatever. We'll get into that in just a second. So let's talk first about your digital presence. Hey, Gregory, as far as approving you for the group or whatever, give me a little bit of time. As you can see, I'm in the middle of this, but I'd be happy to help you out. So, cool. Is everyone still cool? Everyone still hear me? Or we're still good? All right, so your digital presence. These are some things that you're going to want to do just to have a presence online. Okay, so having your music on iTunes, having your music on Beatport, Spotify and Apple Music, and Bandcamp, right? So all of these things are going to be very helpful, including SoundCloud, in making yourself easy for people to find, right? So this isn't the end-all game. Getting yourself a digital presence is really where it all begins, but we don't really make a living off of this at all. This is not something that is going to sustain us. This is just going to get people's attention. Now, your personal online presence, you're going to want a Facebook page. Really simple here. I've got a Facebook page here, and I just post, let people know when, for example, when I'm making a new track, let people listen to things, some behind the scenes of live shows and who I'm playing with and that sort of thing. This is really important, and it's not something that you're going to have tons of people on, but it's a great way to build an audience. Instagram is getting very popular, so people like the visual side of things. So as far as having an online presence, having something that's very visual can be very powerful for people as well. Snapchat is also pretty popular. Twitter, of course. And Resident Advisor, a lot of people haven't heard of. But it's a great place for especially electronic musicians to kind of put up a profile. There's a lot of people kind of put all their stuff, let people know when their upcoming events are and this sort of thing, right? So this really helps your fans know what's going on with you. Once again, none of these places are the end all. You don't need all of them, but it's kind of a good to have, right? And then once again, on Beatport, you can actually create your own profile. So as you can see, you can find different artists here. Let's just check this guy. And here is his page. So if you have releases or don't have releases, it's still a good idea to set up an artist page on Beatport, because this is where a lot of people buy music. Oh, looks like I just jumped out of there. So let's dive further. So the advantages of digital is it costs you almost nothing. Once you've created something, you can get it out at no cost. For the most part, you could get it everywhere instantly. So it's really worldwide access. It's very easy to distribute. It's a great promotional tool because it's free. You could give things away for free, and it doesn't really cost you anything. And it still is a benefit to your fans and that sort of thing. And it's really good for getting into the charts and stuff like that. The charts, once again, doesn't guarantee that you're going to make money in this game, but it is going to help get your name out there. It's a promotional tool like anything else. So that's a good reason to have a digital presence and have digital releases and release on digital labels, okay? And once again, Spotify, Apple Music is a really, it's a place that everyone's going lately. So it's really good to have at least some music on Spotify or Apple Music. And this typically happens when you sign to a label, you can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be distributed out to all of these different avenues. A lot of labels run through distributors. And so pretty much when you make your release, it'll also be available on Spotify and Apple Music. Now, you might consider that kind of a deterrent, and it could be if you have every single thing that you've made available for people to just listen to for free. But in the beginning, it's a very good way to start. So I recommend that you kind of go with that. Now, the disadvantages of digital is you make almost no money. It's not something, of all the releases that I've signed, I've made very little to no money from my releases, even the ones that chart, because it usually goes back into the label. And since I run my own label, we have our own costs as well. So, it goes back into paying the person that designs the covers, getting the mastering done properly, and of course all the promotion that's involved and that sort of thing. So very low revenue comes from digital music. So many of you guys are probably thinking, if I could just get a release, my career will get started. And although that's true, that's only going to help you build your fan base, right? It's not necessarily going to help you build a living. It's easily pirated. Everyone knows that. Anything online, people can grab for free. So it's really important that you build a fan base and entice them enough to be able to say, hey, I really appreciate your support. And most people will, buy your stuff simply because they want to support you. So it's really you that they're buying into. They're not necessarily always buying into just your product. Digital music has a low perceived value. Because people can get it for free, a lot of people, especially younger kids, don't really feel like they should pay for something that they can get for free. So the perceived value of that is pretty low. And back to Spotify and Apple Music, it can be too accessible. It'd be too easy for people to just listen to their stuff on one of those formats instead of paying for your music digitally, okay? So that's why we get into physical products. And I'm just checking back in with you guys here. If you guys can just hit me up in the chat window, let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that everything's all good. And I'll go ahead and continue, but I just want to make sure that, those that are here are hearing what I'm saying and that everything is coming through just fine. All right. Yes, thank you so much. The sound is good. Yes, all good. Perfect. So let's go ahead and carry on. So physical products. Physical products would include CDs, t-shirts, stickers, and vinyl. Okay, a lot of people go directly to vinyl, for their releases, but you have to understand that vinyl could also be a very low income game because it can be very costly to put vinyl out. Okay, but it does tend to sell better than digital. People are getting back into the idea of wanting physical things. They want something that they can own, that they can feel, that they can share. It makes them feel more part of something than a digital. When you have a thumb drive, in your car or whatever, your friend's not going to pick up the thumb drive and go, wow, what is this, right? But if you have a CD or you're wearing a t-shirt or you got a sticker or a piece of vinyl, that's a conversation piece. That's something that people can get involved with, right? So this is, not only can these things make you money, but they are better tools for promotion as well. Posters are another thing, I just went to a show last night with my girlfriend and she spent $20 on a nice size poster, that's was on thick paper. It was really nice, but that's the thing, right? When you're in a live event, you typically want to support that artist right at that moment. They're making you feel good. And if you got products ready to go, you're going to be able to make sales. Very, very few DJs and producers will have physical products when they do their gigs and stuff. I'm trying to change that game because I find that it's a really perfect time. When people are out dancing to your music and having a few drinks, for the cost of a drink or two, they could take home a CD or a t-shirt or whatever. So it really works to your favor to think about physical products, all right? You could also give fans a VIP experience. So this could be a signed product. This could be an in-house concert or an in-house DJ event. You could give away original lyrics or notes or artifacts from your shows or from your music. You could give away, if you work in Ableton, that's the program I work in, you could give away your song file, right? There's a lot of different things that you could do for VIP people. You could also start a private online group where you kind of give people behind the scenes sort of stuff. You could talk to people before the gigs. You could talk to people online and share what you're doing. This is really good for building a fan base. And you can do online performances, whether that's performing live or DJing live. You could literally set this up in a VIP way so that you could get support directly online. You don't have to just go out and play live. You can do this in your own studio, right? So these things could be very powerful, and these are things that can give a much higher perceived value. And I hope that you're kind of getting the idea that this goes much, much further than just releasing something on Beatport or iTunes or what have you. You've also got crowdfunding, okay? Crowdfunding is an incredible way to, for one, it's a great way to even build fans. You could actually entice people strictly from a Kickstarter page or whatever. So crowdfunding could be Pledge Music. Right now I'm following an artist that I really like on Pledge Music, and it's great. So I spend like $30, and it's going to get me, basically he hasn't made the album yet. So I'm paying to watch behind the scenes of him kind of actually creating the album and giving kind of behind the scenes of, here's a rough cut of what I'm doing. This is where I've gotten, and really seeing, how the whole process takes place, right? And for my $30, I get that backstage kind of VIP. I am going to get sent, physical signed CD and a digital download. To me, that's something that is much more enticing than just going in and purchasing a CD. You feel much more part of it, and it makes your fans feel much more part of you, right? It really helps you in selling yourself. Kickstarter, is another thing just like Pledge Music, and it can be a very powerful way to, get support, get people to help you pay for music that you haven't even made yet. Patreon. I also support an artist on Patreon, and Patreon is really cool in a way that what you do is you can literally put out music to your Patreons. And what your Patreons do is they can sign up to be a part of your kind of group. And it's kind of like a Kickstarter where you say how much you're willing to pay for each item that you release. So, for example, let's just say that you're an artist that, does like live music, right? Guitar music. You might release like a video of you doing an acoustic version of the song, right? And you post it up and people can watch it and they can download the song. And every time you put something up, your Patreons can pay you a small fee for that item. So Patreons could say, well, everything that you make that I want to download, I'm going to pay $2, or I'm going to pay $5, or I'm going to pay just $1. And that way, if you've got 500 Patreons, you could potentially make $500 to $1,000 every time you post a song, right? And it kind of works like Kickstarter in you start off by, if someone's willing to pay $1 a song, you give this kind of free bonus. If someone's willing to pay $5 a song, you give these extra bonuses and that sort of thing. That kind of gets people into your group. So that is another really powerful way to kind of earn an income here. Are you kind of seeing the big picture of how this is working and how you can actually make a real living instead of just thinking that once you get on iTunes, everything's going to be solved for you? It's really not going to be the case. But these are some really great ways that you can really push your career forward. So next we're going to talk about some promotional essentials, okay? So these are some things that you absolutely are going to want to have in order, for you to be visible to people and for people to kind of integrate with you and converse with you and other fans and stuff. So you're going to want a Facebook fan page, very easy to create, and really important as being kind of a place where everyone can go. You could also create a private fan page for your VIPs as well. So there's a number of different things that you could create. You can create your fan page, and then you can create like a private group as well for your VIP members. And I do this myself. I do this for I do this for my music training. I have private groups of people that join specific training. You could also even start like a membership kind of site or whatever. Kind of like I do with my business, where members who are willing to pay like $10 a month or something like that can get access to a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So there's so many different ways that you can go with this. Another essential is you're probably going to want to have a website. It doesn't need to be anything that's really over the top, and it doesn't need to be very complicated setting this up. It really doesn't cost that much. Costs you about $15 to get your website up, and then it costs you like $5 a month or something like that to keep it up. So it's really worth it. Basically what you want is a nice front page, a way for them to find you in other places, and some sort of a blog, okay? The next thing that you're going to want is an email responder. This is going to be really important, and this is where things start to get a little bit more complex or a little trickier, right? Because now you're talking about emailing your fans, and you got to kind of know, well, how am I going to warm up my fans without like turning them off, right? How am I going to tell them stories that they're going to enjoy? And how am I going to build that up so that I can eventually ask them to support me, right? You got to take these people that have never heard of you, kind of warm them up, show them that you're something interesting and something worth spending time with. And then get them to like you enough to say, hey, I'm going to support this guy. This guy, it seems like the real deal. That is a email responder will help you do that. And I recommend to some people, now I use, I use Aweber, but I also use something, I've gone to Active Campaign, which is a bit more features. But to get started, Aweber is really good. Costs you about $20 a month. And this way you can have people opt in. We'll get to this in just a second, but you can have people opt into your mailing list, and then you can automatically every couple days email them like some interesting story about what you're doing, and not selling to them, but just kind of warming them up to you, and eventually getting them to an offer to maybe buy a CD or even further. You usually start with like a CD release, and then you could go VIP and offer them, T-shirts and signed items and all the other stuff that we just discussed. Facebook ads is the other. So the email responder and the Facebook ads work kind of hand in hand with each other. The reason I say Facebook ads is because, well, let me just kind of back up for a second. If you think that you're going to build a fan base for free without putting any money up front, you're playing a real losing game, because what you're doing is you're competing with a bunch of other people who are doing the exact same thing. So you really are one in a million, and there's just too much noise out there. When you pay for ads, you are paying for people's attention, right? It's not like you're paying for likes and getting fake likes or anything. When you pay for an ad, it's just like an ad on a TV commercial, for Coca-Cola or whatever product it is, right? It's getting people who already are probably going to like what you have to offer. It's getting in front of them and making them enticed to, learn more about you. That's what Facebook ads are all about. The email responder is all about taking those people that signed up through your Facebook ads and warming them up and creating a conversation and keeping yourself in their mind, because attention spans are so short these days that this is very, very important if you want to build and grow a fan base of people who are willing to support you. Are you guys with me so far? Is this sounding, are you learning something here? Is this sounding something that is doable for you? And right now I'll just go in. So when you are in Facebook, you have an ads manager. So if I go into my my main page here, let me just go to home real quick. Okay, so if I'm at home here, I can actually, now this is not for your personal pages, so you have to create like a fan page or whatever. But once you've done that, you can go in here, click on your ads manager. And pardon my screen is kind of goofed up. I got to get it fixed. This is like a new Mac computer, but something's weird with the display sometimes. But anyway, yeah, so I can go to create an ad. And as you can see, I can create a campaign. There's like 3 different levels. And, I'm not going to get into this in this webinar because there's just so much to cover. But essentially, when you make your ad, you get to kind of choose the audience, the type of people that you want to see your ad, and your placement. You can set your budget, and then you can kind of go from there as far as creating an enticing headline or what have you to make a proper. There's someone yelling outside my window. Sorry about that. To make it a proper headline that entices people to click on your ad. Okay, so next, lead pages. Now this is kind of a nice to have, but this can make creating an opt-in page. So basically, your Facebook ad is going to go to an opt-in page. The opt-in page is then going to help people get signed up to an email responder. In fact, most of you who are listening right now, you used this exact pattern to find me. You're already on my email, so I sent you an email to a opt-in page so that you could opt in for this very event that we're doing right now. And I did that using lead pages, okay? Because it's a very simple way to get things up. I think it costs about somewhere between $17 and $20 a month. It's not imperative that you have it, but it sure does make things simple. So if I go over to my lead pages, right? What I can do is I can go to create a page, and I can go to what type of page I want to create. So for example, here we go. We've got opt-in. And now, I believe, let's see. And it even tells you which ones are the most recent, which ones are the highest converting. So I can go to the highest converting. And I can use these templates and then kind of just change around the words and stuff. And this will get people in. So if I use this template here, oh, okay, I don't want to actually create my page, so. But I can show you some of my lead pages just to give you an idea. So for example, this here is a lead page. This was the page that you saw, that you signed up for. Right here. You're on a lead page right here. And this right here, this product page that I have on my website, this was made from a lead page, and they just look really nice, and it makes it very easy for me to set things up. So I would recommend it to you guys. Here's the thing. If you're willing to spend $600 on, Ableton, and you're willing to spend, that much or more on synthesizers and controllers and all these other things. You should at least be considering having a budget to market yourself, right? So, it is going to take a little bit of an investment to start you off. That's just the way this works. If you want to get into any business, people go to college because they want to earn a living, and they ended up in 10 to 20 years in debt, right? With, what they learned in order to make the money back. You're just making an investment of, $40, $50 a month, and you're up and running. And then you can kind of test things from there. So we'll go ahead and continue here, but I just wanted to kind of put that in your guys' heads. Some promo essentials. So here, you don't need to have all the technical skills. You can hire someone to build your website. You can hire someone to make your landing pages, your opt-in pages. You can even hire someone to help you create your emails, right? To get some of the right wording and things like that. So Fiverr is a really good place. I go to Fiverr, or I used to go to Fiverr, to get graphics made and different things like that. And I will, let me just jump on here and I'll go to Fiverr real quick. Oh, I think I spelled it wrong. There we go. So here we go. We can, right here, graphics and design, digital marketing, writing and translation, video and animation, business stuff, music and audio, just all sorts of things. So if I'm looking for logo design, look what we have here. We've got all kinds of people who will do a logo for as low as $5, if you want someone to make a landing page for you. Once again, pardon my screen, it's getting all flashy and weird. But look, you got someone that will design a landing page for your website for between $5 and $25. Really, really inexpensive. So you can get started pretty quick. And once again, you can put someone else in charge of the technical stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. So you can still kind of be the musician. Another site that I go to, and I go here more often because I find the quality to be higher, and you can still hire people for a pretty reasonable amount. Some people you can hire for like $5 an hour to do certain work for you. It's really, really great. So if I go to Upwork.com, once again, I can find web developers, these guys, virtual assistants, sales and marketing experts, you name it. And you can find these people on here. You just search what you're looking for up here, and you can hire someone to do whatever work you need done. So don't think that you need to spend a year learning all the technical stuff. It makes sense to get up and running by paying someone just a little bit, to help you get started. So the next section here is how to market yourself, right? So one of the basic concepts to getting paid and to building a fan base is to start with a free model, right? When you've got someone that's never heard of you, you can't go up to them and ask them to buy something from you or support you really in any way. So you need to be upfront about giving someone value right up front. So a great way to do this is to give away a free digital download, of one of your songs, or, at least one song. One or two songs is a really great giveaway. So you find a couple songs that you can give away for free. after you've told people kind of a story about maybe the making of these songs, or kind of a story about what you're all about, right? So this is a really great way to get people to trade their email, and then you can get in that conversation with them. Once you're in a conversation with them, now you're in good shape. Now you're able to kind of warm them up. Now they're getting to be part of your story, right? But the way that you have to start that is by offering something that people can originally, can have access to right away, right? But when you're doing your Facebook ads, you want to remember, you don't just want to say, hey, I'm a blues artist. Here's a free download. That's not going to do it. No one wants new music. What they want is a good story to follow. And if they buy into the good story, then the free download becomes enticing, because now they have an interest in what is this person all about, right? So you really got to kind of get into people's heads and understand, hey, this is the kind of thing that people that are into blues like. So this is the kind of story that I have to carry to get people interested in what I'm doing, right? So that's just something to keep in mind for whatever style of music you're doing. You don't just want to say, hey, I'm a techno artist, here's a free download. That's really not going to entice people at all, okay? Instead, you might want to tell a story about, an event that you did, or if you ever ran into someone famous in the scene or something in a conversation, or if someone said something nice about what you're doing, or if you ever won any sort of award or gotten in any sort of charting, or if you have something funny to tell, about the making of this song. All of that stuff is more relevant than just saying, hey, I'm an artist, buy my stuff, or even download it for free. I hope that makes sense. Giving things away, just the word free, will get literally 100 times more potential fans. These are potential people that may become interested in what you're doing, And think about it this way. Even if you only make one new fan a day, that means that within 3 years, you could have your 1,000 fans that are supporting you as an artist. Like literally, that could be your job within 3 years. And that's just if you were to get one fan a day. So think about that. It's not as difficult as you are probably thinking it's going to be. Once you get people in for free, once again, you need to build trust. You need to warm them up with your conversation, with your stories. So that's how you build that trust. That's how you get people to think, hey, I want to invest in this guy. And after you build the trust, now you go for the sale. Now you say, hey, I got a new album that's coming out on this date. For the people that buy it before this date, I'm also going to give this bonus, or whatever the hell it is, right? You want to entice people to kind of buy it soon, when it comes out, and let them know how important it is for you to support yourself, by them supporting you. Let me back up for just a second. Making the sale is part one, and then closing the sale is going to be part two, okay? So you offer the sale, and then you say, well, this bonus offer is going to go away in, 3 days or something like that. That's going to entice more people to take action, And when people do take action, they tend to, as long as you're giving a good product, they're going to tend to hold you higher. The people that actually spend money on you are actually going to put you mentally in a higher place. You're going to take a greater priority than people that they haven't paid money to. So that making the first sale actually builds that relationship as well. So the next thing, and this kind of has to do back with your email marketing, is creating a marketing funnel, okay? So we talked about this a little bit before, but I just wanted to kind of reiterate because I know that this whole concept can be a little bit complicated. So a marketing funnel is literally a path your customer takes that leads to a sale and leads to a relationship as well. So we start with the Facebook ad. That's the first time people see you. They're just browsing, conversing with their friends. You draw their attention. You kind of break their concentration a little bit with a nice headline that entices them. They click on the ad. When they click on the ad, it takes them to a landing page. And this is where you entice them further and you create an offer for an email opt-in. So it's a very short paragraph of why they should be interested in you. And then you're offering them something for free, a free download or something, but it's kind of important that you create that curiosity. The third step is building a relationship through email. We once again talked about this. Step 4 is selling the product, and you're going to do this through email as well. When you get someone willing to buy your product, it's a perfect time to do what's called an upsell. And that is, hey, if you'd like, for this price, I can give you a great deal on a whole box set. Or if you want to spend a little bit more, you can get a signed copy of such and such. Or I'll throw in a t-shirt or whatever it is. It can help make your customer value much higher. So instead of a customer only spending $10 on a CD, or maybe you're selling it for $15, whatever it is, you can take some of those customers up to be as valuable as $50 to $100. So that makes making a living much more possible than just trying to do $10 at a pop. So this is kind of an important thing that you will have to learn how to do. Is you don't want to just offer one thing. Give people an opportunity to support you even more. So ad marketing, once again, we're talking about Facebook ads here. That's what I recommend because there are a billion people on Facebook, and there's more people on Facebook than on Google search. This is just where everybody is. And because everyone's there, and because Facebook knows every person so well, you can target your audience by interest in incredible ways, so that you are putting, you know the age group you're going for, the interests you're going for, other things that they might be interested in, things that they might not be interested in. For example, you might say, I want, maybe your style, let's just say your style is blues, right? So maybe your style is blues. So you might be going for blues fans, but maybe your style doesn't have any kind of country tinge at all. So you might say you don't want people who are into country music. So there'd be some reasons to do that to kind of niche down exactly who you think your audience is. So that's something that you can think about as well. And that's really getting into Facebook marketing, which I may be do another training on that at some point. But right now, I'm not diving that deep. I just want to give you kind of the big picture here. So with ad marketing, what's really important is that you don't just throw a bunch of money at an ad and hope that it does well. You can start at $5 a day and see if that's working for you. You can actually see if that's getting you people to click on your ad. And of those people that click on your ad, how many people are eventually buying, right? So the best way to do this is to split test everything. So you will actually put several ads up against each other and see which one wins. And when you find a winner, great. You delete the losers. And then you split test the winners again, right? And you keep doing these little tests. You just change one thing, and you know it might even be a different picture, like which picture works better. those sort of things. And the one that gets the best result is the one that you're going to keep, and the one that doesn't is the one you're going to delete, right? And you kind of keep going with that until all of a sudden you go, wow, I've got something where I'm spending $5 and I'm making $20 in sales from that, or whatever, $15 in sales, whatever it is. If you're starting to make a profit, then you go, okay, this is great. I'm making a profit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale up those winners. I'm going to start spending more money per day on those ads, because if I can make $20 for every $10 I spend, then if I spend $50, I can make $100, right? What you're hoping to do is make like $3 to $4 for every dollar that you spend, right? But what you want to do is get yourself to a point where you are in a profit. So when you're at the low budget part, you might be losing a little bit of money up front while testing these ads, because there's going to be a number of things that don't work before you find the thing that works best, that actually is something that is scalable, right? But once you have that scalable, profitable ad, then you can start putting more money into that ad, and you could scale that up and start making a pretty good profit and building a fan base. So it's kind of a long range thing, because what you're doing is you're creating ads to give something away, to get people on your email list so that they will eventually buy, right? So that it might take a couple weeks for people to go from the process of signing up to your email to buying your product, right? From clicking on that ad that you pay for, right, to buying your product. So you have to understand that. You have to understand the long game, right? You're not going to make that money back the same day. But if you're willing to watch the process, you're able to see how much your average customer is worth. So let's say that you get 100 people to click on your ad, right? And those 100 people cost you $10. And let's say that out of those 100 people, a few people buy your product and you make $50, right? So if spending $10 makes you $50, right? Or that is like, you want to break down how many people there are, how much money you made, and then you can figure out how much per click on average it's worth. So, for example, with that, I believe it would be 50 cents per person who clicks. So if you could get people to click on your ad, if you could get people on your mailing list for less than 50 cents, right? Then you're making a profit. I know that sounds kind of complicated, and feel free to ask questions later, but this is something that's really important for you to understand, is the value of each person that clicks. Even those people that don't buy, you're still paying for those clicks, so you have to kind of count them in. So once again, if you're paying $10, you're getting 100 clicks, and you're making $50 from that, then you know that it's 50 cents per click. Every customer is going to cost you 50 cents. Or no, every customer is going to make you an average of 50 cents. So you just need to make sure that each customer you get costs you less than 50 cents. And then you have a winning, scalable ad campaign. I hope that makes sense. The last thing is you can retarget people that have seen your ad or have even clicked on your ad and haven't opted in. Because these people are already a little bit warmed up to you because they've seen your ad once, and for some reason they got distracted and they didn't opt in. So you can actually retarget people. Let's see if I can. If I go to my lead pages, right? And let's just go here. And you could do this on your website as well. You don't need lead pages once again, but I just kind of want to show you. So in my options, I have a tracking code. Or I didn't put it in this one. But you can put a tracking code from Facebook called a pixel. And that way, it will track every person that lands on your page from Facebook. And then you could retarget those people on Facebook. You could actually put ads in front of the people who clicked and went to your site. So that's a very cool thing that a lot of people aren't aware of. And some people, it takes them 5 or 6 times seeing your ad to get interested enough to give up their email, right? So it's good to retarget people. And those retargeting people is actually less expensive than getting cold traffic. Last, these are some resources that I personally use to make physical products. Kanaki.com is a really great place to make CDs and DVDs. I've worked with them before, and they make great products, and they don't have a minimum. So what's really cool is I can order 5 CDs, and having them shipped and everything, I could get them for about $2 a pop. So you spend $2 on a CD and you sell it for $10. You're going to pay a little bit for shipping. So let's say you're spending $1.50 or something to ship it. So that's $3.50. Depending on how much you sell it for, you can sell it for up to $15 if you want. That's a pretty good profit margin for you, and much better profit margin than digital sales, where you're splitting the profits with iTunes or Beatport. If you're assigned to a label, you're splitting that with the record label, a load of other things. Bands on a Budget is great for t-shirts. I got a really good price. I think I spent about $7 a shirt, something like that. I bought about 25 shirts. So once again, you got to remember that you have to make a little bit of an investment ahead of time, but it's worth it. And then stickers, these are great giveaways and things like that. I found that the best pricing that I've found so far is 1, 2, 3 stickers. So if you want to kind of write those down, I'd certainly look into those for physical products, because these 3 things are going to be incredibly helpful for you to have products that customers, that your fans are going to want to buy from you. And since they're physical products, there's no go-between. There's no label or anything that you have to go between. So this is directly from you to your fans. And that's why you can make more money doing this than a lot of signed bands make, when they're signed to a big or small record label, because of the fact that, all the expenses that go in to being on a record label, you don't get to keep all your profits. So this is great. You make your small investment, and you're making, for every dollar you spend, you're making like a $4 profit or something like that. It's really good stuff. So I hope that this overview kind of gives you a better idea about how you can take yourself as an artist and really push yourself forward and build a fan base. And it's not like you need to steal fans from a bunch of other people. You don't need $1 million campaign. All you need to do is find your audience. They're out there, and gain their interest, and build your own audience, sell your own products, and you can make a living. So this is just kind of an introduction. I plan on making a Make Your Music Master Course. This is going to be a complete walkthrough of everything I've shown you, with full examples. Honestly, just like Facebook ads alone, you could easily spend like $500 learning that, just from one type of thing. So I'm really going to try to dive into this whole kind of deal for you. And the product is not made yet. So if you're interested, though, I'm creating an early bird special, so that the whole course, and it will probably come out, a week at a time. So you would kind of be the beta testers of this product. If you're interested in getting the whole thing for $97, then now's the time to use that little join the wait list. And it's totally free to join that. There's no obligation. But if you want to be on that list, when I make this available, you'll get it for this discount, because I'm certain that the price is going to be a lot higher once I put it out. But if you want to be a beta tester of this, I'd love to have you on board. So, go ahead and do that. And now I'll be happy to take any of your questions. Just, go in the chat room and I will answer any questions that you have. And I'll stay on here for as long as there are questions. And if there are no questions, then I will call it a day. So right now I'm just kind of updating my screen. I'm like looking at this from my iPad here. So to people I've got here, let me give shout outs to everyone that's been in here. I really appreciate it. Jason, Gregory, Live Drum Dance DJs, Lou, I think that's your name, right? Lou? Chris, Omar, all you guys, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. If any of you guys have any questions, or if any of you guys have not said hello, make sure to go into the chat window and ask your questions. This is your chance to pick my brain on what I know. I've been, obviously because I run my website, I've been doing this marketing thing for quite a while. And, I'll tell you, it's not something that I really, I've learned to enjoy it a little bit more, but boy, it can be really tricky to get started, because basically you just want to share information with people. You want to do what you're best at. And the marketing side, most of us are not incredible at. So it took me a number of years, to learn some of this technical stuff, and I want to help you do this as an artist, however big or small you want to get. Where to read about selling your music to a label and releasing it. I've actually written an article on that. You can go into my blog, musicsoftwaretraining.com /blog. I think you can go into my archives and find it. I'll try to post it in this group once I get everything sorted out, once I go through everything. But yeah, I'd be happy to help you out. But basically, if you want to sign to a label, the first thing that you need to do is you need to make yourself kind of accessible. You need to make yourself an asset to someone else. In other words, you need to be a benefit to someone else before they're a benefit to you. So if you're interested in getting signed, first, you need to legitimately like the label that you're wanting to sign to. Two, if you haven't been signed before, you want to make sure that you're not going for the biggest label out there. Go. If you go through a small label, you have to understand that most of these guys that run small labels are just like you almost. They are small artists that are promoting themselves and trying to make a living. They're very humble people, and they just have a very good ear for music. So if you catch their interest and if you are the right fit for their label, then they will want to sign you. But you can't just kind of start spamming everyone on Facebook or SoundCloud or wherever you go, trying to get people to listen to your music. The best thing you could do is like their label and communicate with the people in the groups. And when they put out a release, share that on your site. Add in the comments what you like about the song. Give all kinds of support. And do not critique. You haven't earned the right to critique someone else's music, right? So you're there to support what they're doing. And if you support what they're doing, your name will start coming up over and over in the conversations. They'll see you over and over. And eventually, you can hit them up privately and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that last release that you made was really, really good. And look, you want to be honest, but it's really important that you show that you're supporting what they do. And if you support what they do, and you get in a little conversation with them, it's going to be much, much easier for you to say eventually, hey, by the way, I'm a producer. I've made a number of songs, but let's be honest, not all my songs would fit your label. But if you wouldn't mind, I think I have one or two songs that would really be work for your label. And even if they didn't, I would love to get your feedback, because I would really like to put my music on your label, at some point. I think that's the best approach that you can take. And once again, you don't want to just take your songs and like send them out to 10 different labels. You just want to be in conversation with a couple labels at a time. And if you're willing to take this approach, you're going to not only sign more of your tracks, but you're going to build more relationships. Are there any other obvious wrong ways to approach marketing? That's from Jason. There's a ton of wrong ways to promote your music. The main wrong way to promote your music is to assume that anyone gives a crap about your music. Because if you assume that people give a crap about you, then you are not really playing the game of marketing. What you're doing is simply, it's like dating, right? You can't just walk in and say, hey, I don't know your name, let's date, right? You need to take a slower path. So if you are putting up, let's say, a Facebook ad or something, you're not going to put techno guru, download this free song. That's not really going to do anything for you, right? But you might want to say something, maybe you start marketing to your local scene, maybe I'm from Denver, so maybe I could use being a local artist from Denver. Maybe people in Denver have liked what I've done. Maybe there's, a review that someone has done for me. Maybe I can kick off with that. Maybe I can, maybe there's another artist that has given me the thumbs up, that I can use as a kind of a ploy to interest other people. Or maybe there's just an interesting story. For example, an interesting story that I can use is I can make an ad for myself in a few ways. One way that I can market myself is I'm lucky enough to have had like a number one release on Beatport, right? So that interests people. People are like, oh, well, who's this guy who had a number one? That might be interesting. Or I can market myself saying, a deep tech artist creates full song with a naughty video, right? Because I basically built a whole song from like a 3-minute porn clip, right? So that's interesting. That's something where people are like, what? What the hell is this all about, right? But it gets their attention, and then from there, I could give that track away for free. And I think it's a good track, actually. And then from there, that's a song off my album. That could lead me to selling my album to them, and also, of course, telling them more interesting stories, about me and about, whether I'm selling myself as a Denver artist or selling myself in another way. I have to, think about it like a blog, right? You would have your website and you would write a couple blogs that are stories that are meant to intrigue people. Maybe you can give people a couple tips on how you made the song, but you got it. Yeah, that's right. Porn is pretty valuable, right? No, I did something ridiculous because I just thought, well, what is the most ridiculous way for me to prove to people that you can make a song from just about anything, right? And I thought, well, I don't think anyone's made a full song using just sounds from a little crappy porn clip. So that's what I did, right? So the ways that you don't want to market yourself, you don't want to spam yourself to a bunch of SoundCloud groups. You don't want to put up your, you don't want to go into every Facebook group of your style of music and start blasting people with your song. You should be in conversation with all these people in the group, and oftentimes the best way to approach it is if you become a good part of these groups, then you could go to the administrator and say, hey, I've got a release coming up. I wonder if you would mind, sharing it or posting it on the page. I'd love to have your permission. And if you have someone else post it for you, that's already more intriguing than posting it yourself. So that is some approach that you can take. I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Live drum and dance DJs. Okay, well, I should have assumed you're a drummer. Okay, you're a drummer who also DJs live on stage. I want to get into the festival scene. What is the best way to go about that? You know what? I honestly would not be the best person to ask about festivals because I haven't gotten myself into festivals. Here's the thing. I don't want to be disingenuous and tell you that there's a way that I know to do something that I haven't ever really done, right? But I think that the best approach that you can make is to play locally and document as much as you can. I mean, if you can get a GoPro or have someone record your sets and video your sets, you have much more for people to look at, much more for people to get interested in, right? And then you kind of start finding, who's writing reviews? Who's writing reviews in online, magazines? For example, there's Pitchfork, but Pitchfork is going to be really difficult for you to get into. But are there some local places that would do a write-up on you? I mean, that's kind of an interesting thing. A drummer who also DJs on stage. I think that is a definite marketing point, right? And then you kind of want to figure out, well, what other artists are playing these festivals, right? And connect with those artists that you feel that you have some sort of affiliation with, someone that might share similar interests. You could get into conversations with these guys, and maybe they can help get you connected. Maybe they can help get you into the kind of family of people that might help you get into this festival scene. Because, it really probably does come down to A, you having something that is interesting to people, and B, you've built the connections. They can tell that you've worked hard to get where you're at. And I think those are two important things. Once again, I haven't played festivals, but if I was going to go about that's the approach I would take. So I hope that helps. Cool. Yeah. That's awesome that you have. I've done the DJ and drum thing. Okay, so Lou's done that as well. So those are great things. Are there any other questions out there? If you've got a question, ask now. Now, I may pause a little bit just because it takes about 20 seconds before you actually hear me, and then I'll respond once I get a response to that. So there's a little bit of a delay in this broadcast. So I'm just going to hold out for a bit and see if there's any more questions. And if there are, of course, I'll go answer them. And if there aren't, I'll call it a day. But the bottom line is I really hope that I've helped you guys and not confused you guys. If you would, while I'm waiting, I'll just show you real quickly, just to give you kind of a basic outline or overview, right? Just as like a little wrap up. So here, this is my marketing outline. This is really what you need in order to make this happen for yourself. So you've got your Facebook ad, you've got your engaging headline, and a little bit of information. You've got your landing page. Your landing page has your opt-in, it has your story, and it has a free download. You don't want to get too complicated here. You don't want to give people too many choices, but give them a little something to entice them, and then the free download Next, you send them to the thank you page if they opt in, and that basically just tells them thanks for opting in. Oops, let me get back here. And then you have your email sequence. So the way the email sequence works is a story, or think of it like a blog, right? So you've got blog 1 that you send to people with an interesting story, blog 2 that you send people with an interesting story. And these could have small links to your album that's going to be for sale, but you don't really want to sell it, right? You just, you can offhandedly mention it, but these are warm-up stories, After you've told a couple stories, then you can come with your offer and give people kind of a limited time offer to buy your album, and in addition, they can get a bonus. Then the next email is that the offer is ending. And that is going to entice people to take action before the bonus ends. I mean, of course, the album will still be available later, but you'll end the bonus. And then you kind of repeat the sequence, for people that haven't purchased from you. You go back into another story and another story and then another offer, that sort of thing. And especially as you're releasing new material, I think that's a really good way to go. So I know visually I'm not really stimulating you here with an outline, but that's kind of my way of breaking this down in the most simplistic format. So for any of you who might have been confused before, I hope that helps you. So I'm checking out here. Hang tight just a second. I'm just refreshing the page here on my iPad. Do you find it hard to navigate the Facebook page changes in terms of pricing and accessibility to do what you want? You know what? I would have to know a little bit more about the questions. I mean, Facebook makes changes, obviously, but running basically what you're getting with the Facebook ads are more flexibility. You're not really losing any options. You're just getting more flexibility. And although ads certainly cost a bit more now than they did when they first started, it's still very, very doable. So I wouldn't worry too much about Facebook changing as being a deterrent. Because the bottom line is, Facebook is not like MySpace. It's not going away anytime soon. They've really kind of planted themselves in global consciousness. So they're not going anywhere. Let's see. I hear people finding it challenging. Say once you notice you promote something like 2 times a week. It really comes down to your targeting. The way you target is the most important thing, and you have to keep an eye on how your ads are doing, right? If your ads start to slow down, then you might need to change the wording, or you may need to try a new picture or whatever. But I find, for example, the students of mine that have taken my EP in 30 Days course, I'm using very similar ads that I've always used. I've tweaked them a little bit, I try to make them a little bit more enticing, use a better photo. But for the most part, I can run that ad for a full month, but my targeting is really what kind of keeps it relevant, If it's not relevant to the people that see your ad, then it's going to fail. And then Facebook is kind of going to penalize you for that and charge you more per click because it's not very relevant. So you want to make sure that your audience is relevant to your offer, right? You don't want to sell heavy metal music to country fans. You don't want to sell ambient music to hardcore techno fans. That is, you don't want to try to sell to everybody. It's basically what I'm trying to say. You want to niche it down to where you've got, an audience of like, maybe 100,000 people or 200,000 people, that sort of thing. So don't be scared away because other people have failed at something, right? That's the worst thing that you can do. people fail for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of times it has nothing to do with the format itself. It has to do with their approach, it has to do with their commitment, and it has to do with their flexibility and willingness to change when things don't work. So I hope that helps. I hope I don't screw up the name, but Mahara, I think that's your name. Thank you. I appreciate you hanging in there, and I appreciate you. I hope you learned something. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer, and then I'm going to call it a day. So if there's any more questions, I'm happy to answer it. I'll take a couple more if they're there. If I haven't answered any of your questions so far, otherwise we'll call it a day. Mahara, great. I didn't screw up your name. I'm happy about that. So once again, I'm just kind of holding off to see if anyone has anything else to say, and do a quick little countdown and say goodbye to you all. I hope that this has helped. Is there any ways to access my old webinars? Some of them, but not all of them. Some of them I only keep up for a short amount of time. It kind of, I'll have more webinars in the future. Some of them that'll be permanent, but some of them are only meant to be up for a few days. So I hope you understand. That's just kind of part of the way. It could be a promotion that I'm doing. It could be that I'm giving away information that I normally charge for, right? So when I do those sort of things, you really got to get in there and join, or at least, within a couple days after my webinar, I'll usually keep it up. But once again, some of that information is information that I normally charge for. So I hope you understand that. I'm trying to do all you guys a favor and give you guys really good information, but some stuff I just can't keep up, all the time. All right, guys. So I'm going to call it. I don't see any more questions here. If you do have questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and I'll check the chat later. And otherwise, I'll talk to you guys all soon. Once again, join the early bird list if you're interested in a master course on this, and I'll teach you guys everything that I know. I truly will. It might take me a while to put it together, but the early birds will get, as I create this, they'll get little chunks of information a little bit at a time as I create it. So I just need to make sure that there's enough interest in the subject for me to really pursue it, right? So yeah, definitely, I can see how many people opt in to the early bird list, and that lets me know how many people are interested in this as me taking this a little bit further for you. So if you have an interest, definitely join that. And I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Take care.